There you go. So, hello, it's wonderful. I'm so glad you are joining us today. I appreciate your willingness to be a part of our podcast.
Yes.
We're going to start with giving you the opportunity to introduce yourself and your business.
Awesome. Hi there. My name is Aletha Gill. If I'm looking at you and then off camera, I have a lot of things going on. So I'm Aletha Gill. My company is Aletha and Co. I'm a social media manager, and so I help women entrepreneurs save time and energy. I help them create great content as well as stay consistent by showing up online and helping them manage their social media for their small businesses, which ultimately, frees them up to have time and energy for their business. And so that's a bit about myself and my business. But I'm a South Side Chicago girl.
Okay.
I was born and raised on the South Side of Chicago, and very early, I had a very entrepreneurial, independent spirit, and so that led me to graduate a year early from high school and attend the illustrious Spelman College here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I haven't left really. I think one job took me to Jacksonville, Florida for like a couple years, but I ultimately came back to Atlanta. It's like my second home here. And for the majority of my career, I've been like a professional recruiter, recruited, in the digital marketing space. But I would say, over those last few years, especially with the onset of the pandemic and all of the passion projects that birthed out of that. I was in that
Yeah,
boom as well. And so I'm sure we'll get into more of the businesses that led from there. But just really passionate about connecting people, passionate about helping individuals push their agenda forward in reference to their business. I love to see women entrepreneurs doing their thing. And if there's the way that I can help, I'm here to do so. And so that's a bit about me and kind of where I am today.
I love that. I love that. And I have that same passion. I love seeing our women in business become successful in what they're doing. So, how long have you had your business?
Yeah, so Aletha and Co has been around for about a year now. So it's brand spanking new.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
actually that was like a soft launch that I did last summer, and I actually did a full blown, hey world, this is me, more formal or official launch
Gotcha.
actually about a month ago in August.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
this business for me, the service-based business, is brand new. We were chatting a bit before here. I also have a product-based business that I've been doing for some years now. But this, my baby, my social media baby, is brand spanking new, but I enjoy it.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, having started this business and your passion being to help other women in business grow their vision, what would you say are the top things that you see as issues or as areas of concern with women in business?
Ooh, um, oh, I want to say a lot of things, but the top, I would say, main things that I continue to see is that we wear this superwoman cape, right? Especially
Uh-huh.
Black women, and we believe that we can do it all. But some in times we can, right, for a moment in time.
Right.
Then when you get to my age, I work with women 40 and up. I'm 42. Um, your body says, you know what? You can't do you can't do it all. Sit down, girlfriend. And so you have to listen to your body, but that's one of the things that I see is that hey, we think we can do it all. And in reality, we can't, right? So we need to
Gotcha.
delegate, we need individuals, we need support systems that will help us still push our agenda forward, still help us accomplish that goal, live out that dream, but not at the expense of our health or not at the expense of our family or whatever other important things that life has for us. And so that's one of the things that I see consistently. The other is trying to think. That's really one of the big ones.
Okay.
One of the other challenges is that um, we are siloed. That's the other thing that I see, if you have listened or are in this small business circle, you'll know that Black women make up the majority of new businesses that are
Exactly.
started. And
Exactly.
so, but we tend to be siloed, we don't tend to partner, because I think it goes back to that first point. We feel like we can do it all, but we
Right.
need community, we need partnership, we need support systems. And so, having that, like overcoming that challenge of, hey, I can do this all, let me do it by myself, or let me engage, AI or this technology or this website in order to help me, when it's really, I need to be calling upon my
Ah,
sister friend, or calling upon, my old college roommate to help out, because I know that they were an expert in this area and they could handle it well. So those are the
gotcha.
two things I would say: being a superwoman all the
Uh-huh.
time, and then
Uh-huh.
being siloed. So
Yes, that's very important. I love that you brought those up because one of our challenges, one of the challenges of any entrepreneur business is trying to stay in business beyond that 5 year point.
yeah.
And one of our challenges as Black women in business is that we have more to deal with in the arena of growing a business, of getting funding, of getting resources,
Yeah.
and trying to do it all by ourselves really sets us up for more failures. It sets us up to reach a point where we can't really figure out what to do next and just
Yeah.
give up, as opposed to tapping into resources, tapping into businesses like yours that are there to assist us through the process for things that we don't know it all. We're
Yeah.
good in what our main product is or what our main service is, and but in all the other areas we need to get assistance.
Sure.
So I love that you brought that point up, because and that's the really the passion behind why I do this podcast, because I want more Black women entrepreneurs to know you don't have to do it by yourself. This is what success looks like. It looks like getting help. It looks like going to professionals for help. It
Right.
looks like going to people that can give you the answers that you would spend hours trying to find on your own. And then you'll get burnt out through that process. So I'm so glad you're here to share those tips with us and speak on that. So
Yeah.
when you begin working with the business, what are some of the first questions that you ask that entrepreneur?
Well, first, I want to find out what their goals are, right? I want to understand their story. In my introduction, Lynette, I mentioned, I used to be a recruiter.
Yes.
And recruiting and talking to individuals, you find out their story, their journey, how they came to be at this point where they're looking for a new job, or that they're even open to hearing about a new opportunity. And so I guess I kind of pull from my experience in that regard and really try to understand their journey, what their current goals are, and where they want to be, right? Because what you're doing today is going to set you up for a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And so, really trying to understand their journey. I am big in understanding a thought process.
Mm.
What is the thought process? How did you even arrive here? Yes, you have this great big product. Yes, you have these beautiful designs. Yes, you have this great service, this coaching program. But how did we even get here? Because
Gotcha.
that's going to inform some of the visuals, that's going to inform the messaging, that's going to inform a lot of the information that you put out as a brand. And so really trying to understand their story, their journey, their goals, and where they're going. So that's the main, when I sit down and talk to folks, those are
Uh-huh.
some of the main questions that I ask. And then in addition to that, I also say, hey, we don't have to start from scratch, right? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I asked them, who is it that you admire? Who are some accounts that you look up to, some individuals, some influencers in this space? Who are the people that are doing it well?
Uh-huh.
And what can we take from them?
Mm.
What can we draw on? Is it okay? You like how their feed is very clean. This has a very clean and simple aesthetic. Do you like this vibrant very bold messaging that they have. What is it about this particular account or these particular accounts that you enjoy or you like? Because we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can put your spin on it. You are uniquely you. So help me to understand who influences you and how we can put your take on that. And so those are some of the main questions. And then, I'm all about organic conversation. I kind of let the business owner take over from there and really just feed off of their energy and their ambition and really try to glean knowledge from them.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So you listen to their story, you listen to what their goals are, and you also listen to what they've seen out there that they like.
Yeah.
So that you have a foundation to work from. And then from there, so tell us again, what is your service line? What different services do you provide to businesses?
Absolutely. So, in my social media management company, I help budding entrepreneurs. So, these are folks that usually have full-time jobs still, they're still in the workforce. And so sometimes they need branding, right? They don't have a logo, they have an idea. And they have
Got
some
you.
money
Got you.
and they're like, hey, I have this idea, or they may have, their LLC formed or whatever the case. They have the administrative piece and they know, who their target audience is, but I help them with that branding. So helping develop the logo around that, the brand messaging, understanding their brand pillars, right? The core of who they are, what are the themes that they want to express to their particular audience. If they're all over the place, really trying to figure out, okay, who your
Yes.
target audience
Yeah.
is and how can we best communicate your product, your service to them via social media. Because a lot of times that also determines what platform you're on. And I guess that
Right.
kind of leads into my next service. So I help social media manage with 6 different platforms. The majority or the main ones are Facebook and Instagram. But
Okay.
then there are folks that live on Pinterest. There are people that live on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's X, or formerly known
Twitter.
as Twitter.
Yes.
And then TikTok as well. And so we try to figure out, where their clients live. And that's another one, going back to your earlier question, that's another one of the questions that I asked, where do your clients live? Because if you're in the professional space and you have a career coaching program, then I don't know if your folks are on TikTok unless it's a younger crowd. Your tribe may live on LinkedIn. And so
Gotcha.
we try to develop that content strategy, that marketing strategy around that. And so we try to figure out the branding piece, we figure out where they're going to post, and then also develop a strategy and a plan from that. So those are the majority of my services that I offer. I have a package where we can post like every other day or just like 3 times a week. So not every day. This is for a business that may be heavily involved in their social media management. They just need some type of maintenance. But the majority of my clients are on like the posting schedule where we post daily for them. These are folks that are trying to get new customers, get new clients, grow their business, expand their reach, because we all know that posting consistently and posting often is going to be key to kind of building out their business, especially when you're starting.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds really good. So,
No, thank you.
you look at the footprint, you handle branding, you handle
Mhm.
their social media, you even through your questioning, I can imagine you help them to really hone into what their true target market is.
Yes.
So you really feel a lot of needs for the budding entrepreneur to help them get more organized, and in your services they feed everything they need to keep their business going and growing. Sounds
Yeah.
wonderful. Sounds wonderful. Now, are you
Thank you.
a team of one or do you work with others?
So yes and no. But going back to that the last point, I just want to say one last thing. You made me think of something. I came to be, in most businesses, you come to be from experience, right?
Yes.
So the
Yes.
very first client that I had, we were figuring it out together. It was like, girl, what is going on? Who are you, trying to market to? And so I think that's, a theme that you probably have seen or heard in your line of questioning or in just talking to entrepreneurs is that a lot of the stuff that we are now, come to be and where we are today comes from the experiences that you had. You have to tweak and move and hone in,
Yes.
trim off and add
Hmm.
to,
Yes.
every single time. And it just makes you a better at your craft and better at your service. So I want to touch on
Definitely.
that.
Definitely.
But I'm sorry, the question, Lynette, I forgot it real quick.
I forgot the question too.
Oh no, we in this
I was so
together.
with you while you were talking.
I'm
Oh, well,
sorry. I'm a talker.
are you a team of one, or do you work
Oh,
with other
thank you, thank you, thank you. So yes, so I am a team of one, but the great thing is that I have a small team. So some of my social media services are white label them. So basically what that means is that I have a team. It's a third party company. Another Black owned business. It's a third party company, and she manages a lot of my clients for me. We have a whole system called Basecamp that they can log into. As Basecamp is a project management tool. So the
Hmm.
clients can log into this system, they can see their posts, they can see their designs, they can see the caption, they can approve it. They can say, no, I don't like this, let's change that. And it's posted for them, it's designed for them, everything is done for them. All they have to do is hit approve or if, comment on it if they don't approve. And so yes, I have a small team that I work with, a third party company. Initially, I was doing it all. I
Hmm.
was doing all the designs.
Got
I
you.
was doing all of the posting. I was doing all the scheduling, all of that. But a girlfriend of mine put me on to this third party company and said, you know what, this might be helpful for you. And I found that it has been. So that's been a great partnership between myself and that other organization.
Wonderful. So you practice what you preach.
I have to, right? Because I need
Wonderful.
time to market my business. I need time to do the administrative stuff.
Yes.
We haven't talked
Yes.
about that
No.
now
No.
just yet, but that
Exactly.
stuff takes time for
It
me.
does.
For me,
Yes.
I'm not naturally, I think your background is accounting. I'm not
Yes.
naturally number savvy. I'm not
Hmm.
naturally, the emails and stuff. I love talking to people. I will, network and
Yes.
make things look pretty all day long, but you get down to those numbers and you get down to like the
Yes.
administrative stuff. And I'm like, oh, now that's the stuff I need to be third partying
Outsourcing.
out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I get you there. And a lot of us have to grow into that stage where we can outsource those things because, like you said, what we love to do, that's what we want to do most of. And if you
Hmm.
look at any business, that's how it's designed.
Yeah.
The leader with the talent, they use that talent and then they hire other people to take care of everything else. And
Right.
that's how businesses grow and that's how they upscale.
Yes.
I was listening to I heard a quote from TD Jakes the other day. He
Mhm.
said he was talking about entrepreneurs and he said a lot of us are building a business that is really a job.
Mm.
It's just a job we created for ourselves. He said, because when it's a business, he said, we are able to scale it up to the point where if we wanted to, we could sell it. When it's just a job and we keep it as a job because we have to keep our hands in everything and we only have two hands. So it can only get so big.
Yeah.
So when I think about, us, what we're talking about now, outsourcing different activities of the business, it allows the entrepreneur who is usually solo to get all those things off their plate, have professionals managing those things so that their business can grow organically or as they plan it, as big as they desire it to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that third party company that I'm working with, that's what I am learning is she's a young lady that runs the whole organization, but every part of her business, she's like, okay, who can I get to do this?
Yes.
And that's the
Yes.
mentality that I am working on. I'm still working there because what I see often, and I know I even have it for myself, is that, like you said, we want to have our hands on everything. We're a little bit of a control freak sometimes.
Exactly.
And it's like,
Exactly.
oh, if I'm not doing it, they not gonna
Right.
do it the right way that I want
Right.
it to be done. So so that's the thing that we have to take a step back. Is it, like you
Yes.
said, is it a job or is it a business? And if you want it to be a successful business that can scale, you have to have those systems, those people in place, so that ultimately if you break your leg for 2 weeks, or you need to
Yes.
vacation for a month, then it can
Yes.
run without you. That's the true test, right?
That's
Can
it
your
right
business
there.
can your
That's it right
business
there.
be
So if
sustained if you were to
yes.
pull yourself out for even 2 weeks or a day?
Yes.
When I was
Yes.
getting my hair braided the other day, the young lady, she said, oh yeah, I went on vacation and then came back and got COVID. So she was like, that was, almost 2 weeks, two times where she wasn't, working with her hands. Is different when it's a handmade business. Like I was
Right.
telling you earlier, I make handmade products, or you're working with hands, or you're doing something different. But I still think you can scale. Like, for
You
example, the
can.
hair braider, she can hire folks to do. Now, it might not be just exactly how she wanted, but
Exactly.
but you can hire those people even when it is a handmade business. It's just difficult when it's in our heart and we
Right.
love to do it.
Right.
So yeah. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
went off on a tangent,
That's
but
okay. That's a great point because I'm there with you. Because to
uh-huh.
your point, you said if you can't leave him for a month, TD Jakes actually said if you can't go away for 2 months, if you can't go on vacation for 2 months or go do something else for 2 months and come back and your business is still going the way it
Mhm.
should, then you haven't built a business. You have built yourself a job.
Yeah.
So that's the point. We want to get more people in the mindset of you want to build a business to
Mhm.
whatever size you want it to grow to, but you want it to be able to operate without you. And
Yeah.
that does involve releasing some control. You can't keep that same control if you want it to be more than. And one of my friends gave me the term expensive hobby. You don't
Mm.
want your business to be an expensive hobby, something you're
Yeah.
putting money into because you love it and it's fun, but it's not making you any money.
Oh
You
yeah,
want
no,
to be
that's the worst.
profitable.
Right, for
So
sure.
yes,
Yeah, because if
definitely.
it's not, then what are you in it for?
Right.
What are we doing?
Exactly. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. So we start with our passion, we
Mhm.
start with our story, why we get into it, but then we have to upgrade to this is meant to be profitable.
Yeah.
This is meant to be something we can scale up. Got it. So when you were starting your business, did you have to utilize any funding to begin your business? And if so, what kind of was it personally funded or how?
Yeah, for sure. It was personally funded. So when I started Aletha Co., my social media management company, it was around July, August of last year, and I was working a full-time job. I actually had a contract position, was for a contract for a year, uh, well-paying
Uh-huh.
position. And so I was using my downtime, my evening time to work that business or start up Aletha Co. And yeah, so it did require some funds, not a ton, right? Because social media management is mostly digital. But what I paid for was some of the services. So some of the social media posting services, like scheduling services,
Got you.
have a monthly fee. The design tool that I use mainly, which is Canva, has a monthly fee.
Mm-hmm.
My website has a monthly fee
Yes.
associated with this. So it's not like, oh, it costs thousands of dollars to enter into this space, but it was little fees here and there,
Got you.
which it's totally fine. So yeah, it wasn't a lot of startup costs, which is great. But there were some costs and still are some costs associated with running the business.
Okay. Now you said you always had kind of an entrepreneur spirit. Was that something you saw in your family? Was there anyone else in your family who were business owners, or was it something that just grew in you?
That's a good question. I was actually watching an earlier podcast of yours, and the young lady was like, "Yeah, I was like grandfather or mother." And I was like, "Wow, that's really
Yes.
interesting." But no, and I'm surprised you asked me that. But no, no one in my family. No, not that I can think of. Not in my immediate circle.
Got you.
Had own business. I think that was you know, from a young age, you can kind of, what's in you, right? I've
Right.
always kind of been this independent person. And
Yes.
so I think it's just always will always been in me to be independent. I have been my professional career has been in sales, which is an independent role, right? It's outside
Right.
sales and talking to people and recruiting, which I'm still, part of a team, but really just yeah, I think it's just been who I am, like how I'm wired is
Got you.
to yeah, I love to see the fruits of my labor for me.
Got you.
I
Got
love
you.
to see the fruits of my labor for an organization. That's great. That's fine and all. But
Right.
I wanted to have an impact on me. I know that like if I don't bet on anything else, I'm a bet on myself.
Got you.
Because I have that inner strength, I have that inner ambition, an inner drive. And
Got you.
I think I'm the best person to benefit from that. It's great,
Ah,
like when I work for organizations, they pay well, all that good stuff. But I'm gonna bet on me 9 times out of 10. And I appreciate I have a partner, my husband, who stands by that too. I can't we were talking about the support
beautiful.
system earlier.
Yes. Yes.
Earlier. I can't do it by myself now because I can't
Right.
go from the six figures I was making to where I'm at today. It's a journey, it's a process. But
Definitely.
but yeah, so
Wonderful, wonderful. I love to hear that. You're
mhm.
right. We can't do it by ourselves. So when you think about or when you look at something that's prevalent out there now, this hustle culture, um, part of it is, make your dreams come true, do what you need to build your dream. And then part of it is don't ever rest, don't ever slow down, don't ever incorporate healing into the process. What are your thoughts on that?
I know I sound old. My initial thought process or my initial thought was that's for the young folks. Like I need my rest. I need my
Right,
sleep. And the
right,
reason why I say that is because probably in my 20s I could do that like go 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 go.
right,
But right
right.
now with these
Mhm.
kids that I
Right.
have and all the responsibilities, listen, I need my rest and I appreciate my rest. So the hustle culture may be great for some, right?
Mhm.
But where I'm at in my journey in my life, is not for me.
Got you.
I am very self-aware. I am very uh just on a true self-care journey and have been honestly since the pandemic. And so the whole, subscribing to sleep is for suckers, you'll what do they
Right,
say? You'll
right.
sleep when you
When you
die or
die,
something.
yeah. And
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
no.
you're dead when you die. You're not sleeping. It's when you sleep, now you're rested and you wake up rested. When
Right,
you die, you're dead.
right.
There's no resting. So if you don't sleep
Exactly.
when you die, you're dead when you die.
Yeah, I
I was
need my
thinking about that
rest.
the other day. I'm like,
Mhm.
that doesn't even make sense.
People just be saying stuff sometimes.
Exactly, exactly. And then people just repeat it, and I'm like, that
Mhm.
stop and think. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
When you die,
yeah.
you're dead. You're not sleeping. So
But yeah,
yeah,
so no, I certainly incorporate rest, rejuvenation, self-care into my regimen because if you are not whole for yourself, you cannot show up for your family, you can't show up for your clients, you can't show up for your business if you are pouring from an empty cup.
right.
That's just it. I I
Exactly.
I know myself.
Right.
And my
Right.
husband knows me. He knows me very well. He's like, "Okay, you tired? Do you need a nap today? Like, do you need me to get the kids and get them to yes, honey, I need a nap because you're up, your mind's going or you're up at this time, that time. And like I said, maybe I could have done that in my 20s and 30s, but now in my 40s, that's not where I'm at.
Right.
I need my rest. So it may work
Wonderful.
for some, but not for me, not
Right.
at where I'm at in my life.
Got you. Wonderful, wonderful. So what would you say, or can you share with us some of your self-care routines, what you do to take
Mhm.
care of yourself when you need to be rejuvenated or when you need
Yeah,
to just rest?
absolutely. So it all kind of came to a very it came to be for me, like my self-care routine really came to be during the pandemic. We had
Okay.
really small children, and they had to be homeschooled. We had a baby, and then like kindergarten or first grade, and so a lot of that responsibility fell on myself and my husband to teach and to manage, and everything was at home. And I'm like, this is way too much.
Mm.
Like, I'm trying to work, he trying to work, we trying to, educate the kids and take care of the baby.
Yes.
It was way too much. And so at that time, we had kind of tapered off, but one of the organizations that I was a part of is one of my girlfriends started a book club. And we had a book club meeting, and I invited a new girlfriend in. And she said, you know what? One of the things that I do is take a staycation, right? I just go to a local hotel and just rest for the weekend. I'm like, oh, I think I need, I think I need to do one of
Sounds
those things,
good.
exactly. So staycation or momcation, anything to get away from the daily happenings of the home, because we were in the
Yes.
home, for a lot of
Yes.
the time. And so those are some of the things that I still kind of carry through today. Actually having a momcation this weekend,
Oh,
where I'm
nice.
just kind of, getting away from the family, the home management, the home
Yes.
operations, and
Yes.
just kind of rejuvenating and resting my mind, taking the time for me, eating my food in peace,
Yes.
waking up not at the crack of dawn, all those
Yes.
things
Yes.
that happen daily here for me.
Right.
So that's one thing. Another thing I've been doing is getting some deep tissue massages. When I
Okay.
can afford it, I found a guy. So I was just talking to my hair braider about this. I'm like, I find people that are perfectionists. Like
Uh-huh.
the massage person that I go to, my masseuse, he is a perfectionist. Okay. He will get in there with his elbow and work on those things. And I never want to leave, off of that table. And so I've incorporated massage. I have been working out regularly. Now I love outdoors. I love hiking. I'm going hiking
Uh-huh.
tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
So that's been a thing. Last year I had a personal trainer and was in the gym twice a week doing that. And I still kind of kept those routines. So I'll work out or go hiking or try to get outdoors some way, somehow. Sometimes
Right.
it's just taking the kids to the park and running around with them. That wears
Yes.
me out. um, so getting the massages, getting outdoors, working out,
And a staycation.
and a
Mm.
staycation, and just
Yes.
taking care of my temple, right? Eating right. I just posted it in my stories today. The salad that I had for lunch, just making sure that every day I eat something green.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
if it can be green and raw, that's even better. So it's
Got
usually
you.
in the form of a salad or a smoothie. So just making sure I take care of my temple, mentally, physically, spiritually. Those are all the things that are in
Right.
my self-care regimen. I know that was a long answer, but I do
No,
a
no,
lot.
no, no. That was really good. Good stuff. We
Yeah.
needed to hear all of that.
Okay.
Wonderful. I
Yes.
really love the staycation idea for moms just to get
Hmm.
away from the everyday because the everyday management of a household in work in a
Hmm.
business is a lot.
It is.
And your brain and your spirit, your emotional body and your spiritual body needs to be tended to outside of that arena of managing all those things. So it's very healthy. And to your point, when you talk about what can you give from an empty cup, nothing. I
Right.
mean, you whatever you give is going to be a very low quality because your energy is low, your thinking is low. But when you fill your cup, you're full of that energy, you're your best self, you have so much more to give.
Yes.
So it's worth it to stop and take care of yourself.
Right. And those around you should understand that it's worth it too. You
Yes.
know, my son's like, okay, where are you going this week? Sometimes he thinks I'm going out of town. Are you going here? I'm like, no, baby, I'm gonna be in town, but just not here. So my kids know, my husband knows, you know, it's that
Yes.
time. And it's not often, right? It may be every 6 months, every 4 months or so, but it's needed. It's needed
Yes.
to just stop and take a moment to, like you said, rejuvenate and
Yes.
rest. It's
Yes.
okay to rest.
It is. And I even love the concept that your kids are aware of it, because now that's something they will grow up respecting, as opposed to feeling like, that's something odd. Why do you need to do that? They feel, oh, yeah, my mom used to do that, all the
Mhm.
time. Get away from us
Exactly.
and get a break and come back happy. That's
Right,
right.
exactly. Because they know, on a daily basis, I'm there, when
Right.
they're crying, when they hurt their knee, it's not daddy they run into, it's mama.
Yes, yes,
And
exactly.
and
They'll
so mama
they'll
needs
they'll
time for her.
go they'll walk over daddy to get to mom. Like
Exactly.
he was right
Sometimes,
there. Okay, so looking at your business, what would you say to date has been your greatest challenge in your business? Well, first, let me ask you this. Has there ever been a day or days when you felt like quitting?
oh yeah, for sure. Especially when my business is built off of people and
Right.
the relationships and talking to new people and
Yes.
getting, putting proposals out there. So when you get rejected,
Yes.
or
Yes.
when you, like I did, what's today? Tuesday, like I did last
Tuesday.
night. I had a phone call last night. I put a proposal out there. They decided to go with another person, which is fine.
Hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. There are days when you want to quit, and it's like, come on, or because your energy is low, you haven't been
Yes.
rejuvenated, and it's like any little thing is like
Right,
it
right.
upsets you or it makes you
Yes.
mad. And so absolutely there are days when I felt like quitting. But to your earlier question about challenges, or what was the
Yes.
question you said,
That was
what
it.
challenges?
What has been the biggest challenge in your business thus far?
Oh man. um Really just getting clients, right? So clients who can pay.
Got you.
Let me put the
Got you.
asterisk by it.
Right.
That's important.
Right.
The people that can pay. So
Yes.
I say I market to Black women who are entrepreneurs, right? And
Uh-huh.
so like we talked about earlier, these are women that are entering this entrepreneurial space at this high speed, high rate. It's a ton of us out there,
Yes.
but
Yes.
do they have the funds to be able to outsource the social media, to be able to outsource the branding right now? And
Right.
so that's been the challenge, is me serving this community of individuals who are awesome and amazing and have these great products and services, but do they have the monies to pay for them at this
Right.
particular time? I've had, several calls where it's like, oh, this is great, I want to partner with you. And then I send over the information and it's like, oh, crickets, or they will come, if I follow up, they'll come back and say, hey, I want to work with you, but just right now my budget won't allow. And I understand that. That's
Got
totally
you.
fine. And so for me, a little over a year into business, it's a matter of figuring out, okay, yes, I want to serve this group of people, but also what are some other things that are going to make me money? What are some other ways that I can creatively get clients or offer some services in order to, drive more revenue in? So it's really about, like you said, that staying power, being able to make it to 5 years, and how
Right.
I'm going to diversify my services, or excuse me, cater to a different market, or market myself differently in order to get more clients in the door. So honestly, that's been the biggest challenge.
Got you. Got
Yeah.
you. Makes a lot of sense. I like the point you brought up about having to be flexible and growing
Yeah.
your own business, because realizing, your clientele and what your needs are, but also looking at your business and seeing, okay, what else can I do in different arenas or different ways to have other streams of income coming in while I grow this part of my business. And that's what we have to do a lot of times. We have to be flexible and be able to like you said earlier, tweak what we're doing so that it continues to work as we gain more knowledge and more experience, and we see, okay, I need X, Y, and Z. I didn't know that before. We're able
Mhm.
to make the necessary changes to accommodate that. So we do stay in business longer, and it does get
Right.
us to the point where, you know, we're growing in the main area that we want to. But
Yes.
yeah, those are things that we learn through our journey that we don't see at when we very at the very beginning. But
Right.
it is a journey.
For sure, and it's a lot of trial and error.
Yes,
A lot of
definitely.
trial and error. I,
Yeah.
with one of my clients, former clients, I was doing graphic design services, and I'm not a graphic designer. I don't even know I don't know Photoshop. Well, I actually took class years ago, but I'm not technically trained in those design programs. But I was getting the job done for her and her referral. And but what I learned from that situation was this is not what I want to do. Like,
Uh-huh.
that
Gotcha.
ain't it. Like,
Right.
this is not it. And I think somebody else reached out to me in reference to graphic design services, and even though I'm like, hey, that might be good money because it was for a potential celebrity client, I'm like, uh, all money ain't good money.
Right.
Right. And you
Right.
learn that very
That's
quickly.
right.
I'm not the type that's going to be like, yeah, let me do it and get out the way just to make another dollar.
Right.
Um, so, you learn that via trial and error, what you
Yes.
love to do and what you don't want to do.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I think
right.
that's just important, what you don't want to do
It
and what you want
is.
to do.
It is, and you're right. You learn it by trial and error. You learn it sometimes by doing it and trying it, and then, okay, that wasn't. I didn't enjoy that at all. So
Mhm.
let me in the future, let me remember not to say yes to that part of it, and steer them somewhere else. But that, yeah, we learn a lot about what we like and what
Mhm.
we don't like, and
Yes.
that helps. And that helps to keep you. That helps to increase your staying power too, because you're not exhausting yourself by doing things you don't enjoy.
Exactly.
You give yourself the grace to do what you love to do,
Mhm.
and not exhaust yourself with thinking that I have to do everything that comes across the table
Right.
because I need to earn every dollar possible. No, you need to stay your course. Yeah,
Right. And
wonderful.
your people and the money will find you once you're, in your right path and helping the folks that you're supposed to help and serving the individuals, the money will come.
Exactly.
I believe that.
Yes, I do too. So where do you see your business 5 years from now?
Let's see, 2028.
Yes.
Yeah, 2028. Okay, I'm doing the math. How old will I be? So I'll be 47, knocking on the door of 50.
Yes.
Um, where do I see my business? I want it to get to a point. I want to scale it to a point, like we were talking about earlier, whereas if I'm on vacation for 2 months or half a year, just living it up in
Come
Italy or
on. Come
somewhere,
on.
that things will still be running. I want to be able to make money in my sleep. I want to be able
Yes.
to call the shots. I know
Yes.
that it as women, I found that we tend to be very modest in our business. We
Yes.
don't want to, seem like this boss witch and all this other stuff. And um, so I need to be more confident in that regard. But it's okay for me to say
Yes.
that I want to, make sure that I can call the shots and
Right.
run things hands off, just kind
Yes.
of be that person that delegates things or oversees versus in the weeds daily. In these design programs that I'm in, talking to the clients. Now, I love talking to clients, but if I had a team of folks to do that, I don't think I'd be mad either.
Right. Right.
you
Sounds
know,
good. So to have your business grow to the point where you could be as hands off as you desire to be, and it
exactly,
can
for
run
sure.
successfully.
That's right. And my account
Wonderful.
can still grow.
There you go.
hmm
So, what are one of the things you love most about being an entrepreneur? What I'm going to ask you what you love most, and then I'm going to ask you what you love least.
Okay. And if you see me off to the side, I'm recording, for social media folks, content, everything is content. So
Uh-huh.
so that's what I'm doing. I've been recording. But what do I love most about being an entrepreneur is
Yes.
the freedom.
Um,
I don't think you can't buy that, right? It's a cost, right? It is some
right.
sacrifice and
Yes.
it is a cost associated with that, but the freedom that you get in order to make your own schedule, be where you want to be when you want to be there versus when someone else is telling you, that's
Yes.
priceless for me.
Yes. Priceless.
I value my time immensely. And so when I can devote that to something that I love doing, that I want to do, that I feel like I'm called to do, that I know it's making an impact on somebody else's business, that's where I want to be. It's the
Gotcha.
freedom. It's the freedom for me. It really
Gotcha.
is. So
I agree. It's the same for me. That's freedom. Yes.
yeah. And some people may not view it that way. Some people may say, oh, it's a burden, or,
Right.
don't you, miss this or miss that. No, I don't. I don't miss having to to take my work laptop to the beauty salon when I want to get my hair done at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't miss that at all. If I want to go for a hike at 10 a.m., I'm gonna do just that. So yes, there is, a cost. I'm missing the six-figure salary right now,
Right.
to be
Right.
very frank. But I feel like the freedom is worth way more than that.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, that's the thing I
Got it.
love about entrepreneurship.
Got it. So what would you say you love least about being an entrepreneur?
I have two things, but I think the thing that I least well that I dislike the least is the administrative piece. The
Okay.
administrative
Yes.
part.
You spoke on that earlier.
I
Yes.
did. Woo wait, that is just not my strong suit. So,
Mhm.
so yes, I can send emails. That's not an issue, right? And following up and sales, right? I'm
Right.
no stranger to reaching out to folks and interacting with people in that regard. But when it comes to those numbers, getting the financial things together, all the stuff that we need for tax season,
Yes.
that's where I'm like, you know what? Who can I call to do this for me? So that's the thing I would say I dislike the least about entrepreneurship is ensuring that from a legal perspective, I'm good, from a
Yes.
financial perspective, I'm good. But the great thing is I have people that can do that for me, right? I have the
Gotcha.
resources. Now, is it much more cost effective for me to do it? Absolutely. Do I
Hmm.
enjoy doing it? No, not at
Right.
all.
Right.
But I'm in a place that's what I'm working towards, building
Hmm.
that business so that that piece of the pie, the business, I can hand off to the accountant that has been helping me to say, you know what, girl, let's do this full time because this is not my strong suit. So
Right.
so yeah, that's the least favorite part for me is the financial administrative piece, the legal administrative piece of the business.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, now you spoke earlier about having a product-based business also. Tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about that business.
Yeah, so that's the pandemic pivot, right? I think a lot of us had, a lot of businesses were birthed out of the us being just in the house
Yeah.
in these four walls. And so I was online. I was actually working a contract position. They let me go. And I'm like, what can I do? And then I listened to a lot of podcasts and a lot of different individuals, and they're like, the riches are in the niches, right? What can you niche down into? And so I'm like, well, I love my HBCU. I love that market. I also like decor. Let me marry the two, right? And so I
Oh,
have my business is called My HBCU Home. You can go to myhbcuhomes.com. So I started making ornaments. I'm like, let me make Christmas ornaments just to put it out there and see how it does. And so
right.
I started a whole Etsy shop and it started to sell. It kind of took off. And so people were like, oh, this is great. Are you doing this again next year? The holiday
Uh-huh.
season roll back around. And I'm like, you know what? I will do it again next year. And so
Okay.
I would say about 3 years now, I've been doing that. in helping market that business. So the homemade ornaments, I kind of expanded to homemade pillows. So I make also
Ah,
pillows with HBCUs, just like the name on there, like FAMU or Spelman, on the pillows. But that was
okay.
very time consuming. You're talking about needing a third party or somebody else to do that for you. I need somebody else to do that for me, because while I can sew, that is very time
Yes, it
consuming.
is.
So so for now it's just the holiday decor through my HBCU home, and I'm about to start back up come October time frame. It's homecoming season. We're about to go into
Yes.
November. It's the busiest month for my ornaments, and so
Okay.
I'm kind of ramping up for that business. So that's my
Mm,
product based business that's kind of seasonal for me.
got you. That's nice. I like that. It's seasonal too.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. I'm definitely gonna check that out, see what you got for FAMU out there,
Okay.
See if you
Please
representing
do.
us, see if you representing us
I
correctly
am
out
gonna
there.
strike, strike, and strike again.
All right, you know it, girl. Wonderful, wonderful. So as in your entrepreneur journey, have you um found any conferences or conventions that are business centered that you have attended or been interested in, or how does that fit into your journey?
Yeah, so that's the thing that I love, and I love that we are, as a world, getting back outside. Yeah, COVID's still out there, but we are able to have the conferences again. I appreciate that. One that I volunteer for. So one of the things I learned years ago is that if you can't afford a conference, you might want to see if they have volunteer opportunities. That way you can still attend it,
Ah,
but not necessarily pay for it. So this year I volunteer for Fearless Fund. If you haven't heard about Fearless Fund is a venture capitalist organization. So they fund Black women of color owned businesses. And so this is, my area. I'm like, I love, women of
right.
color. I love businesses. And I love, hearing pitch. It's like a Shark Tank sort of environment
Ah,
where they pitch their product, technology, whatever it is. And they receive funding. And so they had a conference here about a month ago, and I volunteered for it. It's a 2-day conference. It was unfortunate I missed the first day, but I was there the second day. But gained so much information. It was so many women business owners in the room, and for me, hello, that
right.
was I was passing out my business
Networking,
card left and
yes.
right, networking like crazy. And so yeah, so that Fearless Fund is one of them. I think they have another conference. Their next conference isn't until 2025. I don't know why they're skipping next year. And this one that I'm actually speaking at this weekend is called
Okay.
Mompreneurs Unleashed. So my branding photographer has a certain part of her business that she started up, but it's catered to moms who are entrepreneurs. And I'll be speaking there about content strategy and social media marketing. So she started this summit. This year is the inaugural year
Oh,
for it.
nice.
So I'm excited to attend that. But there's so many out there. I think for whatever niche that you're a part of, it's a social media conference that I've been looking into. So I feel like whatever niche you're a part of, you can probably just Google or Chat GPT, generate 10 conferences, specific to accounting or specific to, business
Right.
coaching, and you'll find a ton of them. But I found mine on social media and then through networking.
Okay, nice, nice. And so what does volunteering look like for a
Mhm.
conference like that?
So the main thing is that you need is time, right? So they're gonna they're gonna utilize your time. So the volunteer opportunity that I have for Fearless Fund, I could have
Yes.
volunteered on Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday, but I was only able to make it on a Saturday. So just making sure you have the time, but which goes back to that freedom of
Yes.
entrepreneurship. If I were working a full-time job, I wouldn't have been able to do that or commit
Right.
to something like that. And so yeah, just making sure that you have the time. The great thing is that I live in Atlanta, and so a lot of the conferences, I don't know if you heard of Invest Fest, but it was a huge, conference around money and money management that happened. Things that I live in a major city where a lot of these conferences that are catered towards people of color, come and they'll stop or have summits here, which is great. And just as long as you have the time and the resources, to actually get there, it could be a great networking opportunity for a new business owner or someone who is, just in that space wanting to learn and glean information.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. That's a very good point for entrepreneurs who might not have the funds to attend different conferences and conventions, but they know they can hear a lot of great information and meet a lot of great people. To volunteer, I love that. That's a wonderful tip you gave to us all. Wonderful. So looking at Black women-owned businesses and Black women entrepreneurs, could you give us, let's say, 3 important things that you think we should be focused on for our business in any arena?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just 3 things we should be focused on.
Absolutely. I would say the first one is exposure, right? Because I've met so many women,
Love that.
but nobody knows about you.
Exactly.
You got to get this great product, this great service out there. So focus on exposure. I'm so glad that you reached out to me on Instagram because this is a form of exposure. What am I going to do with this, Lynette? I'm going to chop this up.
Okay.
I'm going to use it as content for more exposure for me. And so I would say exposure, exposure, exposure. So that means how does that look? That means partnering with like-minded individuals, whether it be on a podcast, whether it be at various conferences, getting out to local networking events, doing lives, if it's, you utilizing your social media platform just to do a live. But you have to have exposure so that people can know about you, can find out about you, because all it takes usually is 1 or 2 good individuals to skyrocket your business, such and such. Sometimes it's a celebrity, or sometimes it's an influencer, sometimes it's, somebody who's an expert in this space that talks about your business because you expose them to it, and it takes off from there, right? So everybody wants to be, for example, everybody might want to be on, Oprah's, what is her holiday, whatever it's called,
her list, the old
list.
Yes.
Right. And if you get on that because you've been exposed, then your business just takes off. And so so I would say number 1 is exposure. Something else that Black women need to focus on, partnerships.
Wonderful.
You're not a silo. You need to have different partners for different things too, right? So partnerships, even exchanges, sometimes it's like, okay, listen, girlfriend, I know we about at the same level. We ain't got it right now, but I know you do this really well. And she's like, I know you do that really well. How can we partner and figure out, to best utilize our skill set to move our ball forward, to move forward our business or company agenda. So that would be the second point, is partnership. And the last point I would say is self-care. Again, you have to take care of yourself, period. We have one life to live. We have one body. You have to take care of that. It's extremely important. I don't want to see people go all the time. I personally don't feel that that's healthy. And so I think, that self-care, being aware enough to say, you know what, these last few days I've been feeling horrible. Miss Client, I love, what you're doing, but I can't take you on right now because I have this going on. Being okay with turning some things down, that's self-care too. Saying no.
Definitely.
No is a complete sentence,
Amen.
No.
Amen. I don't need to explain anything else. The answer is no.
No, thank you.
Silence. Yeah.
So those would be it. Exposure, self-care, and really just being, self-aware enough to know, that you need those things.
Got you. I love those exposure, and I love the way you explain why That's important because you never know who may see you, and you need to be seen in order to be contacted for growth. So exposure, partnerships, and self-care. Three very important themes that I definitely believe in. So thank you for sharing those.
Sure.
So in growing your business, at the course you've been on so far in your entrepreneur journey, what would you say was a mistake that you learned a lot from?
All referrals aren't good referrals. All referrals aren't good referrals. You know, sometimes people refer people because, yes, you know, you're a great resource, but sometimes they know that, oh, this person got a lot going on, and maybe Aletha can work a miracle with them. You
Ah,
know, maybe, you know, you might be the answer, you know,
yes, you may be the
to their
miracle worker.
prayers.
Okay, that
Right.
referral.
Right. And so having to balance that piece of it. So, you know, while I appreciate referrals and I love the fact that somebody took out their time of their day to think of me to say, you know what, I know a social media girl, or I know somebody who can do branding, or I know somebody, you know, who's great at marketing, and think about me and actually give my information to this trusted friend, relative, whomever. I love that, and I appreciate every last one of the people that have done that, but sometimes
Yes,
those referrals, you have to take them with a grain of salt. You have to vet them, because sometimes
yes,
it's like, "Oh, this person, oh, you know, such and such." It's a familiarity there, right? People wanna
right.
buy from, do business with people they know, like, and trust, and there's a
Definitely.
familiarity there, and so, you think that, "Oh, this client referred them, they must be, you know, top notch or whatever." You get in the weeds,
Right.
and it's like,
Right.
"OMG, I see why they sent you to me." It's like, you need some help. So, so yeah, I've learned that all referrals ain't good referrals, but while I'm extremely appreciative, it's going back to that, you know, no thank you, or having that experience enough now, you know, it's been a year into my business to say, you know what, I love you. I appreciate you, but this is not going to work. Not at this moment.
Right,
Here's a
right.
person that may be able to help, or here's some resources that may be able to assist. And I've had
There
to
you
do that a
go.
couple times.
There you go. Wonderful, wonderful. So you, even though it was a referral, you still need to vet
Yeah.
that potential client, and you still have the right, give yourself the right to decide whether
Hmm.
this is the right fit for you or not.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you share some very great information with us today. I am so happy that my listeners are getting all these details. They're going to learn a lot. I'm so excited.
Thank
And
you.
as we close, I want to ask you a couple of fun questions.
Okay.
Things that just let us know a little more about your personality.
Hmm.
The very first one is one dear to my heart. What's your favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food. I will give you my favorite type of food, which is
Cuisine,
Italian.
that's fine. Oh,
Yes.
okay, come
Yeah,
on
I'm a
now.
pasta, cheese kind.
Oh,
Now, it's not good
yes.
for me. I'm supposed to be dairy free and gluten free, but I
All
love
in moderation, all in moderation.
all in moderation. I love some good Italian food, okay?
Yes, me
So,
too.
so yes, that's me.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so what is your favorite hobby?
Ooh, favorite hobby is dancing. I would say
Oh,
it's dancing. I'm a dancer. I've been praise
oh,
dancing, pole dancing, all the
oh, stop it.
dances. I'm a dancer. I love to dance. I love to express. I love to emote. And if I can do
Okay.
that physically with my body, it's all the more better. So going to live concerts or taking a dance class, that's all me.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so now let's talk about travel.
Mhm.
What is either the favorite place you've been in travel or the place you want to go in travel?
Ooh. Ooh, it's so many on this list. My husband and I have sat down and put down our dream, like top 10 places that we want to go
Yes.
and visit. But where I have been, I was in Costa Rica 2017, 2018, one of those years,
Okay.
about 5 years ago, 6 years
Okay.
ago. And I loved it there. It was very relaxing. It was very scenic. Uh the people were wonderful.
Oh,
Um it was just an all around good trip. If you love coffee, if you're a coffee lover,
oh,
that is the
wow.
place to go because they have a ton
Ah,
of different farms, coffee farms. And that's kind of what they're known for. My mom, I brought her
okay,
back some coffee and she was like, "Oh, we gotta go to go back just to get
okay.
some." So yeah, I loved Costa Rica when I went there. So yeah, but it's a ton of places that are on my to visit list. So on my to
Gotcha.
visit list, I want to
Yeah.
do South Africa, Cape Town, like do a whole long visit there. So I love travel.
Beautiful. Me too. Me too. I could
Mhm.
get lost just talking about travel. So,
Yes.
all right. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, okay. Tell me, what was your favorite childhood game?
Dang. Oh, double dutch. Hands
Ah,
down. Yeah, I'm a double dutch now. I haven't jumped rope in in some years, been some decades. But I would say probably double dutch. Yeah, for
yes,
sure.
me too. Oh, I used to love jump rope. Oh, it was so much
Now you
fun.
know they have, I don't know if they have a chapter where you are, but they have a, what is it called? Double dutch for,
Like a competition or
no, this is for women who, or I don't know if it's just women, but it's people over 40. Um, it's a double dutch like
oh wow. I'm gonna look that up.
club.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
double dutch club and they have them all across the country. So
Oh
if you
wow.
really love it, you might want to get get into it. But I
Yeah.
see their videos a lot online.
Nice. I'm gonna look that up. Even if I just go watch, I'm definitely
Hmm.
gonna look that up.
Exactly.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. And the last question, is there
Hmm.
a charity or a cause that is dear to your heart? One that you care for?
Hmm. Um, Man, I would say yeah, there are a couple different ones. But one that stands out is the UNCF. I was on the UNCF scholarship. So for those that may not know, United Negro College Fund helps fund the tuition for students who are at historically Black colleges and universities. And without them, I wouldn't have been able to attend Spelman because my dad was like, "Hey, it's great that you got into this great school, but we ain't got the money
Yes.
for this." Like
Yeah.
he literally said to me, if you don't find the money, then you can't go. So I
Mm.
applied for that scholarship interview and I had a full tuition scholarship through UNCF. And
Oh,
so
wow.
that was that's an
Beautiful.
organization, yeah, that if people can, donate to them or partner with them in some way, somehow. I think it's really important that people of color, finish colleges. And if they can do that at an HBCU, I think that's all the better. So yeah, that's one that stands out.
Wonderful. I love that. I love that. Beautiful. All right. Well, we have again, Aletha, we appreciate you so much for being here with us
Sure.
today. All the great information you shared. We wish you great success in your business. I can tell that you're very passionate about helping women entrepreneurs take their business where it need to go, giving them the knowledge that they need to get it there and to gain the exposure to
Hmm.
get them there. So I thank you and I appreciate you for that.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll be back to speak with us at a later date and we can hear about how your business has grown.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Lynette, for this platform. I appreciate you. And same to you. Much success.
Thank you. Be well.
All right. Take care.